Hey, welcome to the Vacay Garden with DIMD. So today in the garden, we are going to talk about the easiest plants for beginner gardeners to grow. And so I have my top 6 picks for beginning gardeners. And so one of our friends to the garden asked specifically for this video. She wanted to know what are some of the easiest things to get started with, and her name is Amaya. And so Amaya, I thank you so much for the question. I am pleased to bring this video to you and to everyone else. So here you are, ma'am. The easiest plants to grow for beginning gardeners. All right, so we're gonna jump right on into it. My very first pick for the easiest plants for beginner gardeners is okra. Okra is an acquired taste for some. Me personally, I love okra. Love it. And it is very, very easy. So some things about okra. Okra actually loves soil that isn't so good. So it thrives best in soil that isn't the best. So if you have some soil that hasn't been doing too good with other plants, or if this is your very first time and you just don't know the status of your soil at all, okra would be a very, very, very good choice to start with. Now, all of these plants are going to be plants that are geared more toward the spring and summer, because that is the season that we're going into. So okra is a sun-loving plant. It's going to soak up that sun. So you want to plant okra once your weather starts to warm up. Okra is also a direct sow, so it grows best directly sown. So you want to just stick the seed in the soil once it warms up in your area and let it go all summer long. You'll be picking okra all summer long. Awesome, awesome, awesome for beginner gardeners. All right, so number 2 is going to be peppers. Peppers are another plant that is very, very easy to grow. They are very low maintenance for the most part. Either or, sweet peppers or hot peppers will be a good option. So hot peppers, if you like heat and hot peppers seem to be more prolific. You're going to get a much, much larger yield on the hot peppers. Whereas if you don't like heat, or you just eat a lot of sweet peppers, you may want to go with something like a bell pepper, or one that I said was my absolute favorite now from my last video is the gypsy pepper. This is an awesome sweet pepper. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And also it had a very high yield as well. I got a lot of peppers off of this. I tend to want to say for new gardeners, I'm saying that these are ones you may want to go with solely because as a new gardener, one thing that you may be lacking in your gardening skills or knowledge is confidence. So as a beginning gardener, you want to try to grow things initially, first off, that you like. You know, you always want to grow things that you're going to eat, things that you enjoy. But secondly, you want to grow things that are going to yield a pretty good amount, so that gives you confidence in your skills and what you have started to learn. And then you can add on and add on and add on, and before you know it, you got a whole garden. So that's why I suggested potentially these gypsy peppers, because you're going to get so many from these. And also too, if you like hot peppers have a large yield. Now on a bell pepper, you could definitely potentially get a good harvest off of a bell pepper, but you may need to have several bell peppers plants if you're looking to get the amount of yield that you would get from these. All right, so now thirdly, my next pick for the easiest plants to grow for beginner gardeners are cherry tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes want to grow everywhere. They just want to grow. So let them. Cherry tomatoes are the just easiest to grow. So as you can see, even on the picture, they are so prolific. Like, you will think that you are the best gardener in the world if you plant some cherry tomatoes, because they're going to give you tomato after tomato after tomato. So that goes back to, you know, me stating that certain plants will certainly help build up your confidence as a gardener. Now, so growing larger tomatoes is something that you can do as a beginning gardener. It's not um, that much more detail. Like, there's a few other things that you may need to know, but it just takes longer for those to mature because they are larger tomatoes. So, like I said, to build up that confidence and to have that higher yield of tomatoes, the cherry tomatoes is kind of where you want to go. Now, if you would like some that are a bit bigger than a cherry, say, you know, you're not too fond of cherry tomatoes, but you like larger tomatoes, I would say you stick to one like this. This is just a Better Boy tomato. So it's not your huge beefsteaks. It's like a middle of the road tomato. Um, so it's going to have some good size on it. You're going to get several tomatoes off of one plant, and so you may want to go with something of this nature. And my fourth pick for the easiest plants for beginning gardeners to grow are bush beans. I didn't really have any bush beans with a picture, so these are the ones that I got from my local feed and seed that I love. So I will always represent them. Like, this isn't sponsored or anything of that nature. I just love them. But if you can see that, these are Blue Lake bush beans. And so bush beans are absolutely awesome for the beginning gardener. So, and you want to choose the bush variety unless you have some type of trellising system. So sometimes somebody just starting out may not quite know how to trellis or want to go through the trouble of building some sort of trellis or buying something. You want to just start planting, you know, keeping it small. Bush beans are awesome for that. They also are nitrogen rich. So once you plant them, it's like a give and take, or yeah. So you plant the bush beans, you get some wonderful green beans, and your soil gets some nitrogen. So this bush beans, awesome. Also, some people in between seasons also plant bush beans as a cover crop for the benefit of the nitrogen. And if they get a few green beans out the deal before, you know, harsh weather comes through, then that's awesome on top of that. All right, y'all. Now we almost done. We almost to 6. So my 5th pick for the easiest plants for beginning gardeners are cucumbers. Cucumbers, they want to grow too. Cucumbers are very easy to grow. The one thing about a cucumber is that it does require pollination. So if you're most of them, Most of them do require pollination. So if you are going to grow a cucumber that requires pollination, then you're going to want to make sure that you have some type of pollinators around them. Like say, just plant some flowers or have some flowers near them if you're unsure if you have a high pollinator count in your area. So you could just, plant a few um, sunflowers next to your cucumbers, and you will be sure to have plenty of cucumbers. Now, if you're not quite sure about what flowers to plant, or if you're going to have pollinators in your area or anything of that nature, then you may want to see if we can see that this cucumber is called a bait alpha. The bait alpha cucumber does not require pollination. It's all in the same plant. Like it's all there. Everything you need, they can pollinate themselves. So if you don't want to go through the trouble of making sure that your cucumbers have pollinators or going out and hand pollinating them, then you want to look for the bait alpha cucumber. Right? Love cucumbers. And lastly, we're down to the last one. Drum roll, please. That's my drum roll. My sixth pick for the easiest plants for new beginning gardeners to grow is potatoes. And when you plant your potatoes, you want them to have what some call eyes that look like this. It's also called chitting. You're chitting the potato. So normally you have a potato, this isn't on there. It hasn't started to grow. And so if you want to chit your potato, which is making these eyes come out, you would go and sit it in a sunny location, and it would start to grow like this. And so you would just plant the potato in a bag, or wherever you want to grow it, with the eyes going up. This is kind of a large potato. Some people cut them to get multiple out of one potato. I haven't done that. No, I just sit the whole potato in there and just plant it. And then it grows up. Once it gets a good amount of foliage, you heal it up a little bit, and you'll have a good amount of potatoes from this one potato. So, because potatoes are super low maintenance, there isn't much of anything that you have to do to it. It's really more of a set it and forget it for the most part. So that is why potatoes are my final pick for the 6 easiest plants for beginning gardeners to grow. All right, y'all. So we made it through all 6. I hope I gave y'all some good information about each of these plants. Again, I thank you so much, Amaya, for posing this question and asking that I do this video. I truly hope that it helps someone else. I hope that it encourages a beginning gardener, anybody who was thinking about starting to garden. I truly hope that this was some information that you could use. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I truly appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. Bye.